The B-HIVE podcast with Richie B. We're chilling with the hustlers, we're chilling with the entertainers, and we're chilling with the entrepreneurs.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been somewhere else doing some things, but today you joined me on the B-HIVE podcast. Listen, my name is Richie B. Mr. Donkey, my baby. Donkey, my gosh. Ladies and gents in the building, I don't know if I should introduce this guy. They only know you as Leshole, but I want them to know the real you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Today you join Thabo Mkhabela. He's an actor, he's a poet, he's a casting director, he's a musician. What else you don't do, man? Like, it seems like you do everything.
Nah, man, it's not really. You know what I do now? Mm-hmm. I have been trying my whole life to check. Like, if an opportunity was to present itself where I have to explain what I am, mm-hmm. What is it that I'm gonna say? Because you can't say ame.
I wanted to check.
So you know what I decided now where I am? I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
So storytelling comes in a lot of art forms. So sometimes I tell my story in acting, as you know me. Sometimes I tell my story through poetry. Sometimes I tell my story through dance, movement. For those who are acting, they know movement is communication.
Yeah,
you get what I'm trying to say. So
yeah.
In a nutshell, I'm trying to say Thabo Mkhabela is a storyteller.
Storyteller.
Yes.
But I'm sure already they are calling you Leshole.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, I think.
Yeah, bro. You know. Yeah.
So I think you're using that. About Buga on the post.
Thabo Mkhabela.
Thabo Mkhabela.
Yeah. Because Thabo Mkhabela is a bigger brand.
Oh.
Yeah, Thabo Mkhabela.
Mabizela.
It would depend on how you look at it.
Okay.
Maybe you might be looking at it in career point of view.
Yeah.
But Thabo Mkhabela is everything that will come after. It means even next time if it happens that now I become the best poet, as you say.
Yeah.
It's because of Thabo Mkhabela.
Oh.
So maybe I will be known as at that moment, let's say my stage name is Tree. So I'll be known as Tree. Hey, Tree is dope, but Tree is Thabo Mkhabela. That's why a lot of people will go and say, what is Tree's real name? Because those are my real roots. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Who I am.
But I'm Mkhabela, like I don't know. I'm not confused, but I want to hear from you. Are you what are you? Zulu, Pedi? What are you?
You know, the question you're asking me that reminds me of when I used to I worked with Ntate Big Boy, may his soul rest in peace. Ntate Charles Maja. When I started working with Ntate Charles Maja, he always was one person who, whenever this question came, he didn't like the answer. He always said, "Brad, no, don't do that." When people ask Zulu, why do you have to explain? But mine, I have to explain. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I have to explain.
Yeah.
So, biologically, that's why my name is Thabo.
Yeah.
Mkhabela is my mother's surname.
Okay.
So I'm not Thabo Mkhabela. If biologically, to Moyari. Yeah, Moyari.
Oh, you're from the father, from father's side.
Yes. So Kimupulana.
Oh.
Yeah, Wako Bush, where I come from. My mother, Mkhabela. So Mkhabela Maswati. Kulunya Swati git. Yang kuluma Swat veling, same Twana. But here's another thing. In my hood, we speak Tsonga. So even in my family, it's because me, I grew up on my maternal side. So my family, we have a language we speak at home, and we have a language that we dominantly speak in the community, which is Tsonga in the community. But in my household, in my household it was Swati. And my grandfather never wanted us to use any language. That's why I don't even have enough knowledge about radio, because in my home, my grandfather always wanted us to listen to one FM, which is Lekwala FM. Fail. I remember one time, because it's Tsonga dominated, as I said, one time I changed the station to Mungana Lonene.
It was bad.
It He didn't want to, but he was not aggressive about it.
Yeah.
He was just saying no, because it's that thing. And it would happen to you. I don't know, Pedi.
Yeah. I'm not a Pedi. I'm Tsonga. Yeah.
You are Tsonga.
Yeah.
But which language is? Okay, sharp. You and I in fact share the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just the same thing. So yeah, speak Swati at home, Tsonga. But if you were to ask me, strong language Saka, the strongest language I know through detail is Tsonga.
Oh,
yeah,
you're not fluent together.
Tsonga. I did it from grade 1 to first year university.
Oh, but
you get what I mean?
I feel you. How many language are you fluent in, John? Spedi? Fluent?
Spedi. Xitsonga ndana Xitsonga ni xi vulavula ngopfu n'wana mhaka swa ku sweswinyana ne se ni baya mhaka leya ku na vugiyani ku na vuye se ni lo tlanga la ndzeni loko ni la ku vulavula na vulavula loko ni la ku vulavula na vulavula. You know, because it's different.
It's not the same
right?
same thing.
Yeah. And where I come from in Bushbuckridge, really, there's a language called Shihlangani. So Shihlangani is also different. So instead of saying, in my language we'll say, unbukai in Bush.
Or like what? Yeah.
Then maybe in Kianda say unlangutisai.
Unbuka.
Or maybe chino
what is
it's a language, it's a dialect within the whole Xitsonga, because there's a lot of languages around that, and they all go back to Mozambique.
And village Bush is the place where when they're talking about a place, there's but when they're talking about Bush, like
and unfortunately, maybe I don't know, and I get this a lot, right? I won't lie to you, but unfortunately now I've never seen it, maybe in my actual form, because below it's subjective. That is why you go court unga squishy court unga unloy. No kiavaya ke kum profiter wena kwena unloyan lutule kilobona. I can't go court ke lutule lobon. Where yes kirki motako. Waro tsuba yuan kirki ngam profiter or no.
You don't work like that.
No. Where is the evidence?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but a lot of people are saying it. I don't know, maybe it's their own experiences. But now when I was growing up in Bush,
how was it?
I was in Bushbuckridge, let me just tell you, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm from a place called Hlamalan, yeah. It's in the middle. You can ask a lot of people from Bushbuckridge and they wouldn't know about it because it's somewhere in the middle. It's like the whole bush is like this, it's in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's no much commercial things happening where you'll say maybe because we sell these, the other people will come to us. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know it. But what I'm going to tell you is that, I don't know, you told me that you're from Bakenbeck,
yeah.
I feel like where I come from and where you come from, same story. Nothing different.
Yeah.
And you know what it means being you. What you have to face and what choices you have to take in life for you to be where you at.
Exactly.
You know that it's just like any other place. It's just that opportunities. We're living in a world where if there are no opportunities, opportunity drives narration. If where I stay, there's an opportunity of farming.
Yeah.
I will go around and say farming is simple. It's simple to get to farming because where I come from. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you were to ask me about where I come from, I'll say it's the dopest. There were moments in life where I was like, why was I born here, God? Why here? Why couldn't you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But to a point where you see that, nah, man, you needed to be here. You remember, life is this thing. It's just floating. It's a place where there are less opportunities, but there's too much drive. There are less opportunities, but you can still see the talents. There are less opportunities, but you don't see people killing themselves or what. They still pushing. Yeah. And they still say the only thing that we're supposed to do is to push. And that means it's power.
Yeah, man, I hear you. And let me firstly, I want to talk about poetry. I want to talk about music. Now I was with this guy from home, IQ The Truth, and
shout out.
He speaks very well about you.
Yeah.
And it's poetry, it's music, it's casting. Please remind me so that I don't forget. And it's acting, Skeem saam. So now poetry. How did you end up doing poetry? How did you find out, I'm a poet?
I love this question. it's not gonna be as simple as it's supposed to be or how you see it. So I think poetry is situations. Yeah. It's a game of situations. It's poetry's expression. That's why I said I'm a storyteller. Because through poetry, you're telling a story. There's no way you can, even rap, it's the same thing. You are telling a certain story, whether good or bad, whether liked or not, but there's a story that you're telling.
Yeah.
So me, now where I come from, I was raised by, I had an opportunity to, for a year or two, because I was so young, I don't remember, before they accused me of being another Nota. My great-grandmother, I got to stay with her maybe a year or two.
Okay.
Back in the days. You know, it was 1990, something late to 2000. But for me, it felt like 1970. She was old-fashioned.
Yeah.
There was no electricity. There was no fridge. You see, that's the last person I've seen with my own eyes. The last time I saw with my own eyes someone planting pineapple, it was with that grandmother. Oh. In my whole life, I don't care where. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So through her, she would always, you see, the more people grow, I think, it's the more they start trying. It's like when you're old and you see the younger ones, you want to tell them what is it that has happened to us. It's like all these things that you see around us, the names, how did they come about? So my grandmother, as I said, my great-grandmother.
Yeah.
So yeah, she would always tell that, you know. So there was a moment, and then I moved from with her. She passed.
Yeah.
You know, so when she passed,
rest in peace, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's when I started staying at my mother's home. I don't know before, because maybe I started at my mother's home and I moved out and all that. But remembering the moment I can remember, it was when she passed that I had to go to the home I grew up in. Oh. My grandfather's home. May his soul rest in peace. Yeah, he has passed. Yeah. So going there, I remember. Because that woman I'm telling you about, my great-grandmother, she was speaking Swat. So as I told you, so I was speaking Swat.
Yeah.
At that moment, I was speaking Swat. So I had to move to where I stay now. And now, almost everyone here is Tonga.
Yeah.
Same as where I was, but where I was is that when I come back home, I speak the language.
Oh,
so it's different to when you go out, you speak Tsonga. When you come in, you still find a blend of Tsonga.
Oh,
you know,
so
because my mother also grew up to the same thing as me. So she also speaks Tsonga
and Swati.
Yeah. You get what I mean? Just mixed.
I feel, yeah.
Okay. So I'm still going to the why poet.
How you became a
so
poet.
So when I stayed there, it was a long time ago. I think it was around 1997, 8. Somewhere there. Yeah. Electricity was not really a thing there. It was difficult. Even when it was there, it was expensive. We would still cook outside. So we had where I come from, we had go high. We had a place where we cook. So we built it. Yeah, my grandfather. Yes. Yeah, but mine now was not that traditional one. It was okay. You know, my grandfather was was a person who he was I don't know, maybe a perfectionist, if I were to put it. He was Nadia Body Beanie, so he knew, so he had a place, he did it, and there's a fireplace. When we go there, mostly when cooking happens, we would all go there. Yeah. And then it would be story time telling. We grew up with you know, they will teach Swati ones, not even speaking Tonga ones. When they're done, you get what I mean? That's where I grew up under. So in my home, as I tell you, it's like my grandfather has children. And then the children are staying there. He stays somewhere else. So there was a cubicle. There's this thing, a box of some sort. It's not a box. Baby chang the lie.
Trunk or something. Yeah.
There were books inside that thing. So now I have a brother, but my brother never grew up around Mokili. So in the house, I'm the only child. So in those books, I found solace. I started reading from a very young age, maybe grade 2 or 1. Reading. I would read things that I would read standard 8 geography at grade 4.
But I understand.
But some of the things I get. I get to understand when time goes by, or that book was,
Yeah.
So I was used to reading. So that thing in read that to a point when we were bored,
Yeah.
we will take those books. There were a lot.
Yeah.
So we would just choose which book review. So we say Rajala game. Wherever we meet the word there, which is THE,
Yeah.
you will circle
circle
it.
it.
Whoever gets a lot punishes us. You get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Or a word that starts with a certain alphabet and end with the same alphabet, then we do that. So it was part of it. So me, after we have played that, I will also go back to them and say, what was happening? They say the what? The boy was what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I didn't know what it was called. Then when I was in grade, I think grade 2, they gave us books. That's when they start now teaching you how to read. I think grade 2 or grade 3. There's a poem. They never touched the poem. I don't want to lie to you. They taught us this story. I think it was called Betty back in the days, or Mandla and Zondi. 2 brothers. They were just teaching you about enmity between brotherhood and all of these things.
Yeah.
So there was a poem. I browsed and I found this poem. I read it. I'm like, nah, man. This is my thing. You get what I mean? But it's not around me. There's no poetry. I didn't even know of poetry at that moment. I've never heard. Then one day, so in my hood, when growing up, we had this thing. The community used to do these things where it's an event. Baba Jaivang, Jaiva. You get what I mean?
Talent show.
Yeah, talent show of some sort. But it was every year. And when we were in primary, our primary made sure that we have to go and contest there. So in my primary, it was an art primary. From primary, from grade 1, you choose. Are you a dancer? Are you a singer? Are you traditional dance? We will do the makwaya. We did everything. And they said you have to do it. So one day when this thing happens, to fast forward so that we can get to the story. Fast forward, when this thing happens, I'm in grade 7 now.
Yeah.
I'm about to go to grade 8.
Sure.
That was the last event. Yeah, this thing that I'm telling you about. That's where it ended. They used to host it in the clinic, Ornoko A clinic.
Yeah.
Now they changed it to a high school that I was supposed to go to the next year, but I was still in primary. Then I went there. When I was there, there's a guy called Bishop Ngumalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Grootman in my hood. Shout out to Bishop Ngumalo. Maybe he doesn't even know this story. He performed. What? You can hear, bro. You can tell, bruh, the presence, the emphasis when emphasis
Performing
is
what?
needed. Poetry.
Yeah.
The emphasis when it's needed. The relaxation. Because the poetry is not even only about the words. How you breathe, what you're saying, where you put staccato, where you decide to pace up. It's all part of storytelling to say, oh no, he's pacing out. It means something that happened fast or something that's not too what whatsoever, but then he's gonna hit somewhere where he says maybe he breathes and calm down. That's what he gave me at that moment.
Yeah.
Sharpo, next day I'm in high school. When I'm in high school, they say poetry. All of us are expected to come with poems. We must write poems. I remembered that guy's poem word for word. I changed it into English. Went to my school. I did it. They were amazed, brother. Clapped hands for me. Remember that time, it's 2006.
Yeah.
I'm doing grade 8. So it's something that I do. My English teacher was like, no, grand, sharp. I'm not, we become okay. So now it becomes something that I write. So my school adopted me that every time in the second, when there are things, I would always go and perform poetry. And I've never written a poem. I'm rendering poems I've seen somewhere. Until to a point when they said, I must write a poem about HIV AIDS.
Oh, yeah.
You remember? Now here's a task. What do I do? I would perform even in my school. Then I went and I wrote something. And so I would perform outside my village though. And people from outside the village would accept it. But in my village, it's not a thing. So, but I
don't relate to what you're doing, yeah.
Exactly. But I write. And the writing comes from what? Whatever little piece of information I find, I read. I've always had that thing for, words. I remember I had a book, bruh. A book full of words. Yeah. And my pastor, which happens to be my neighbor, is the person who gave me my first dictionary. I can never live without a dictionary. It's impossible. But now it's better because we have phones. They can even give you the pronunciation.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So storytelling, I'm trying to say, my whole life was a story. You know, when I saw that, okay, I was doing it. It was not a popular thing in my hood. That's fine. I went to dancing.
The first point, like, you know what? Everyone was like amazed. More you killed it. Because of poem, Hanchi the poem, Motwadia poem. Like na lobali di goosebump.
Yeah, goosebumps.
Yeah, goosebumps.
Yeah. There's always, if you are a performer, you must know that there's always gonna be your favorite, and there's gonna be the people's favorite.
Yeah.
So the people, because I changed the stage name. I used to be Swav the Poet back in the day. So one thing about me also is that I used to give myself names in my family. Swav the Poet.
What?
It's right. It was Swav the Poet.
Okay.
That's the name that people who know me got poetry.
Yeah.
They know me got that name. Those who know me from poetry, even now when I come, they say, hey, Swav. You know, that's the name they know through, because I had my thing with poetry, most especially in university. I got to university now, it was popular. I did it, I performed. I've performed in Mokopane. Okay. I think Kotropong, I don't remember Kotropong, but I know people like Vini is from Kopane.
Yeah,
I know his brother, Vince's brother, Barkimang.
We're talking about Vince.
Vini.
No, Vini.
Vini, you don't know Vini the Backcloud. He's from Cheflop. He's a poet. He's a poet and a rapper as well.
Yeah.
He's from Kopane, yes.
Okay.
And his brother, they're twins with the guy that I'm telling you about. Bomukiti, there's a lot of poets from Kopane that we have worked with. So we once had an event there. I want
you to give us one that you remember. I can say, if you're ready. If you're ready, you know, not someone who is a poet. If you're a poet like now, but you're a radio presenter. Then show us you're a radio presenter. No, today I'm not ready. No, I'm always ready. If you say I must show you, I will show you I'm a radio presenter. Yeah.
Okay, what I didn't say, I get what you're saying. I don't have a problem. We can go anytime. It's not something that, as I told you, I'm a storyteller. It's just there's a difference between what people know and what I know about me, you know. So poetry is not something that maybe I just get to revisit. It's a daily thing.
Yeah.
I think I write almost every day. When I say I'm talking to a lot, my affirmations sometimes are my own poetry. Look at what I mean, but it's fine. So why not just give me one thing? What do you want? Do you want romantic? Do you want revolution?
Anything.
No, you choose revolution or romance.
Romance.
They say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. But your beauty need not lie in the eyes of the beholder, because your beauty is universal. The words you utter are monumental, and your heart ain't controversial, and your fingers are matrimonial. On the first day I laid my eyes on you, on the first time our lips merged, I felt this sweetness, so foreign in my body that my tongue, teeth, and lips wobbled. So I posed the question unto I. As in the sweetness, the same sweetness that God forbade Adam and Eve from testing in the Garden of Eden. And I sat in a silent prayer and said, God, if this sweetness is the same sweetness that you forbade Adam and Eve from testing in the Garden of Eden, then with my mouth I confers unto a sin, bowing down with my knees. But God, this is a sin I won't be able to abstain from. Because whenever she leaves my sight like a wilting flower, I become empty and desolate. But when she stands beside me, my feelings become intensified, my desires become satisfied, and my tribulations become crucified. They say your attitude determines your altitude, but in my eyes, it's only your pulchritude that determines my altitude. And nevertheless, my feelings for you come in multitude. Your eyes depict you and I dancing high above the sky through the tunes of our heartbeat, beat after beat. So, my babe, after our marriage, not only will I take you to a honeymoon, I will take you to the honeymoon, honey star and honey sun. And if it's a sin, forgive me, my Lord. What can I say? I'm a galaxy boy. It's Penna.
Yeah, man, press that button.
Yeah, man.
But that's why I told you, every time I hear poetry, or a poem, give a lady the show. Goosebumps, man. This is your thing. And yeah. This is your thing. And now I want you to tell me music side, because of a lot of people don't know that you're a rapper.
Yeah.
You're a musician.
I in one of my lines, I love that question. In one of my lines in this rap, I always say, a lot of people bacabanga ukuthi ngumafikizolo. Hayi man, talang khona, talang ulphetho lokhona. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of you, when you see it, you're like, it's a newly found thing. Oh, you're a rapper, you rap. You know, it's a new thing. So they think ukuthi ngubani umafikizolo.
Oh yeah.
But talang khona.
Yeah.
Kona. But then talang khona.
Yeah.
And mafikizolo ke khalelo gona. But still ke mafikizolo.
The name still remain the same. Yeah.
So I'm not umafikizolo. Talang khona. Talang petrol corner. So the corner is skill. I've always had the skill. So I've always been a poet, as I say. Rap. I'm not a singer.
You rap.
I rap. And why do I rap? Because I'm a poet. And what is rap? Rap is not a word, pen. When you say guava and when you say rap, it's not the same thing. When you say RSA and you say rap, that's the same thing. Those are not names. They are acronyms.
Oh.
So RSA, Republic of South Africa, rap is rhythm and poetry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know
rhythm
that.
and
Yeah.
poetry.
Yeah. Okay.
So rap is rhythm and poetry. The culture is hip hop. That's why when we say hip hop. So I am a hip hop head, but a rapper. So hip hop is like a rebellion.
Yeah.
Hip hop is like someone who questions why. Someone who wants to play out of the ordinary. Someone who will say, okay, here's a mic. What can I say about a mic?
Yeah.
And it sounds nice to the people. That's storytelling. It goes back to what? Storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So rap, it's rhythm and poetry. I tried back in the days because, as I told you, it was not a popular idea where I come from. So what I was in love with mostly was poetry. The people in my hood, obviously, in every hood they are singers, they are rappers.
But when
When
you do rap, like I feel like when you do rap, you sharp because of a rap. When I see hip hop outside, it's always about lavish life.
Yeah. No, but it's different. That's what I'm saying. It's different. Like when we say rap, we're speaking. That's why today on the category we have gangster rap. It's all about me and my boys in the hood doing all the bad things. That's pure resistance. That's resistance in like there's even gospel rap where our Father who art in heaven, I'm speaking about God, but it's rap. There's like rap has a lot of categories within it. It's like an onion. It has a lot of layers.
So what do you do? What category you think?
Me, one other thing about me is I believe too much, and I'm a social scientist. By social scientist, I mean maybe that's why I'm an actor. I'm an observer of society. Ever since I was young, maybe it's how I grew up, I don't know. Ever since I was young, I observed people more. So even in a space, if we're staying in a space, I'm the one who will be checking the characters. I'll be looking at it. I'm the one who will see that what you are saying, this one doesn't like it or wants to oppose it, or you and him has got. Even though if I don't know you, but I can tell a clash. Because it's that's what acting is. It's being a person you are not, and by being them, you need to know the mannerisms. You need to know that what ticks them off. How are they going to, or how are they most likely to answer when a situation gets like this, based on who they are. So it's the same thing. This thing, it's about storytelling. And I grew up from that. So my mother, I think this talent that I have comes from my mother. My mother embrace. My mother is something else. My
She's
mother
still alive?
Yeah, she is still alive. My mama's still alive.
Shout out to mommy, yeah.
She, man, she's a storyteller. Growing up, she would be the one who jokes around. Almost a lot of mannerisms that I depict outside is what I've learned from my mother. It may not be everything. But my mother, wherever she is, she always wanted positive vibes. My mother didn't love sadness around, people squabbling. She didn't love that. She wanted us to be a union and laugh. She would be the entertainer. She would joke. You know, she would even do slapstick humor. You know, slapstick humor, like Jom Carrey, where joke Hona is not really about what he says, maybe because it's more okay.
Oh,
It's where it was like it's laughed about the American Harley. You know, you play with your emotions, you become exaggerated. You know, she would do that. So I think maybe also through observing her, because sometimes I've seen myself performing, and I had to reference from her mentally. Like, oh, she would have done it like this. She would have done it like this. Okay, let me do it like this.
Your mother?
Yes.
And she never got a chance to be on the screen.
I asked her once, "Are you an actor?" She never answered me. She said, "No, I'm just being me."
But she never got any opportunity to be on screen like you.
No, and she has never said she's an actor.
Oh.
So she has never said whatever. She never said, I mean, she was a comedian. Where my mama is, everyone laughs, bruh.
I wish she was here now.
Where my mama is, bruh, you laugh. There's no way you can laugh. So and I took it from her. So she can't be in a situation where everyone is quiet.
What worried? No. There must be a positive vibe.
Yeah, you know, she'll go an extra mile.
Yeah.
You know, I think, So the storytelling comes from that, how you grow up. And I think we all products of where we come from, how we grew up. What is it? The ambitions. Me not being a popular idea, or what I do not being popular in my hood, didn't stop me from doing it. I did it. In fact, you know what I did? I wouldn't shove it on people. I would do it for me. I remember I used to write a lot of lyrics, but I didn't have that thing of saying to my classmate, can I share this with you? I didn't know how they were going to react. In case I joined the ladies in my class. Me, I've always been friend with ladies. I love ladies.
You love ladies?
You know why?
You love women?
Yeah, not in that way. Ladies they're more emotional. So it means with ladies, around ladies, they can even support you. Most support, we must just say the truth. Anything that has to do, it's supported by a woman. In fact, a woman is the world's #1 consumer. That is why every part of your body, a woman, they sell something. And that thing, buy from head to toe.
Every party drang?
Every part, msadi. Kona le ntho e rekishwang for yona. Every part of a woman.
Or rekishwang, like clothes, shoes,
from head to toe. Yes.
Manala, okay.
It's something extraordinary, something that men don't even have to do. But with women, everything, every part of the body has a product. That is why women are expensive. Their face fell, a face beat. So one only will take a 2,000, bro. Or 5,000. You understand? When I'm telling 100 rand, what's wrong? Because I saw this other interview, how this group.
Yeah.
So Scooby and I, I know Scooby from way back.
She's crazy, that.
Yeah. So I know. 5,000 what well. Yeah, but she's top. She's one of the most talented women I know, bro. Shout out to Scooby. She bang off. Yeah, bro. I hope I didn't deviate much because I know myself. I speak. So when I speak, I'm just,
So have you ever smashed her?
No,
you haven't.
Wow, what do you mean?
I'm asking because of the industry is too small, man. I mean, like, I get or 5,000 mavozo. Take it or leave it. Richie, take it or leave it. She was asking me.
Yeah.
And you know her, and you know her vibe. Yeah, wherever she is, it's crazy.
What I know about her is like she talks. She's an entertainer.
What?
Sometimes what she says might not is not who she is. You might look at her and see what she does and think she's like that.
Yeah.
And outside of that, school booking one checking what's even trying you get what I mean? Remember, she's an entertainer.
Yeah.
So I think maybe most people are exposed. So me, I got to be exposed to her side. She was my friend. I won't lie to you. Nothing like that. Nothing smashing.
You never smashed,
We met. In the industry, we always meet via each other. So we got to be in the same space. So, but when I heard the 5,000 thing, I don't know that's cool. But she's like she's entertaining.
Do you know? Like people thought Bamroha, and I remember that video reached 1 million views now on TikTok, and some of the comment, 10,000 comment, it's all about negativity. Bamroha,
no publicity.
They don't know where it comes from.
No publicity is bad publicity.
Because let me put it this way: for those who did not see that R5 came up, it's a song Eloring she released lebitso la hona titled Mavos 5K,
Yeah.
and that conversation derives from the song but anyways, Gubu, it's fine. She's gonna come back after respond. She's angry with people now. She
Nah, she mustn't. But I know her. She's someone who speaks, bruh. Yeah, but no, you know what I want to say. If she was to listen, if she's gonna see this, she mustn't respond. It's no publicity is bad publicity. The thing is, what do you do with the publicity?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's my truth, there's the people's truth, and you can show your truth to the people. If you're an entertainer, bruh, they care too much about your entertaining side of things, not your personal or whatsoever.
Oh.
You get what I mean? Yeah, there are those who go to that mile, but a lot. That's why people always says it's his music I love. Sometimes there are people, there are songs I love and can sing every day. I don't know the faces to them. I don't know. I just know this person. I've never seen their face. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as I know her, just push her thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she's dope, and it's not like she's just going to talk about it.
She's talented. She's very talented. Let's talk about you, man. Let's talk about you. Okay, Sharp. I want us to jump into acting. Joe, you can switch. And what's about Batu? Batu, they don't understand your acting. It's a character. Bona the actors. Kura kukwela botlhoko re she. Leshole mabitsela hana dijo ka mogabo. Papa the late big boy mabitsela. Good, like the character that you portray to our face. Like it boncholo, but it's all about what? Character how mo like. O actor kare kore o sotlehile, or let me put it this way, not in a disrespectful way. O ka ro barinyana there. You can switch and
from rags to riches. The story of Leshole was simple, yet not simple. From rags to riches. The same story as Thabo Mkhabela, as saying where I'm from. Whatever popular idea is there where I come from doesn't determine who I am. In a world where everyone is peaceful, we can find the number one fighter in the world. But you know that, man, let's say he's from Sarani. I don't know where Sarani is.
Yeah.
He's from Sarani, and the people of Sarani are very, very peaceful. They don't fight in Sarani, but you can find a fighter there. A brutal one, for a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, you need to, as a person, to identify yourself. I think for me, I identified myself as a young man. If I have to move out of what I do now or what I think now, I will have to re-identify myself. You get what I'm trying to say?
I feel, I hear
exactly. Kind of what we were on.
And the character, Leshole. How did you get it, and how did you end up more Skeem saam?
You know maybe why this interview is going to be long? It's because my stories are never short. It's not a story that started yesterday.
No, we have your time.
Yeah.
We have your time.
So, I will have to go back. As I told you, I'm a storyteller in my hood.
Yeah.
I dance in my hood. They know me. The poetry, my hood. Now I'm going to university. I'm going to study. I wanted to do law. I wanted to be a lawyer. But I don't think I want to be a lawyer anymore. Yeah. But it's a good profession still. But I don't think I want to be a lawyer anymore. But I don't think. I'm not saying. You know?
Yeah.
So, here am I now, an aspiring lawyer, found a space in BA Performing Arts. Yeah, man. I won't forget that day, bro. I called my aunt. I was like, nah, you know what? And you must know, after I did my grade 12 ka 2010. 2011, 2012, Nikiducha High. It's us going to 2013. I get like about December, so January, early January 2013.
Yeah.
Now 2013, I got just space. I need to fight for. So it means if I didn't get space now, I completely degree high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I tell them, they say, no, bro, you got performing arts. So do it so that you can be part of the system. So when you are part of the system now, it's simpler for you to change to another. That's what a lot of people do, in fact. You know, sharp. I'm here in this class, you're acting. Bro, I was the most frustrated person in that class. I wanted nothing to do with that class.
Okay, pursue this.
I get about it. So that because I was worse, and then nationally this stubborn side, so like no, and then it would always bring out that person in me. But I got classing in the background. I be go acting with you. One thing about being an actor is that you need to be loose. Like we will do like A-E-I-O-U. So that's what I got nanga CD. And this person who's teaching me this IAU is my senior, and she's getting agitated because she knows better. I mean, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. They had to call the lecturer. The lecturer was like, what's the problem? This guy doesn't want to do the IAU. I was like, no, man, we'd rather try something. I mean, really, IAU. Never. But as time went by, I became looser and looser up until I saw the first performance. Remember where I'm coming from. It was normal sketch. So for me, when they're saying I'm going to do acting, I'm thinking of sketch. Remember, go, ita. One of those things we will do.
Yeah.
So why am I going to work with that thing? I don't want that thing. Up until I saw the first performance, I was like, wow. These are our seniors, brother. It's like seeing a movie in front of you.
Yeah.
I want this. So I'm this person. I love research. I told you because of how I grew up.
Yeah.
Like I have checked. So I research. And then I checked that in the industry, who is it that I know who's famous that has done the same degree that I'm doing? Because now I have interest, right?
Yeah.
I got a research. I came across Max Papo. Max Papo ki maroti ko Skeem saam.
Oh.
Out of everyone, I got a lot of them. But God, let's see, I love his performance from before I could even know that I'm an actor. When I saw him, I just, this guy can do this thing.
Yeah.
I invited him on Facebook.
Skeem saam. Character ke fing ba kena betcha ngwanyana again.
I don't know.
But I know he is with Nanal Chele to go Skeem
saam. He is that one. Yeah, that one. He was even in he's been in the shows. A legend in the game.
I'm confusing
Max
Maroti
Papo.
and now I know him.
Papo.
I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, Max Papo. So I invited him to Facebook. Accept. Carrera accept. Hi, my name is Thabo Mkhabela. What? I know much stories. I know Thabo Mkhabela. I'm doing performing arts. Can you go check? I'm doing you are doing the same course. I would like to be like you one day. What are the tips that you can give me? I still have it as proof.
Blue tick.
No,
Ankaraba.
Like. But I was doing my first year. It was 2013. Ankaraba a Bible, a whole Bible.
Like he gave you a title.
Even today, when people do that, because sometimes I go to check out motor serious. Those who I see that they are very serious, I just copy that thing and paste them to them. The very, very, very same response because it was very big. He said, "This guy, if I want to be, the first question I must ask myself when I think about this thing." Does it make me happy? Is it something that I feel like I must do?
Yeah.
And he said, if it's yes, then that's what you must pursue. And he said, but remember, you still have an academic obligation. You need to still write your assignment. You need to really also concentrate on the other subjects or on the theories of this thing.
Yeah.
Watch movies, especially movies. They're possible. They are real. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I did that. I joined a lot of productions. So I was doing my degree, so it's where I perform. There was a group in the university, the Great and the Stars. I was part of the Great and the Stars when I did my second year and third year. It's really the part of the Great and the Stars. There was a thing called Polokwane Performing Arts Ensemble. I was part of Polokwane Performing Arts Ensemble. So it comes back to what? Join a lot of things so that you can learn different acting, because acting is different.
Yeah.
We have physical theater, we have what technique. There's a lot of acting theories. So he said I must tap on those ones. So going back to cut it shorter.
Yeah.
So after all these things, one day there's Miss Komankwing. Miss Mankweng. Then it will happen every year. Go University of not university. Go community ya Komankweng, community hall ya Komankweng.
Yeah.
It will happen every year. You host a holofelo Lehanyan. She's Maureen ko Skeem saam.
Oh.
Yeah. So she was the one. At certain then, so she gave us the opportunity to perform. The day before, I want to die. He saw me like, nah, man, enjoy your talent. What? No, I know Putla Sehlapelo, which is Mahong.
Yeah.
Putla Sehlapelo ke Mahong. He was the casting director then. He saw me and then he took my contacts, and earlier on they were looking for Leshole. He called me for the auditions. I went to the auditions, then I got the part.
And you got the post?
Yeah. Oh. I was doing my final at that time.
Yo.
Yeah.
And you are there in Skeem saam, how's the atmosphere there? You guys, like, it's one ball. How is it like? Feel like your family or una lore mo loreng o actually, let me say ke bolela ka mang. Ke no bolela ka Kwaito for an example. Mo loreng here le ko high, we don't get along, but here ke ka mo staging we have to get along. We need to work. Only that kind of situation.
Skeem saam doesn't really at the end of the day matter. You know, it's like any other place. It's like all skolong when I'm over or if you are in HR, the same way. There's gonna be your favorites. There gonna be those who you relate with.
Yeah.
There gonna be those you don't. You get what I mean? But at the end
of
the day, you don't get weird vibes there. There we're all about work. Work, people help. It's a nice environment to be at, because at the end of the day we have a common goal. So, but what is now how you feel about me, it's out of the picture. So it might be, it's like my brother, the one that was with you. I work with him. He's our editor.
He told me that's the editor.
He's our editor. So that's who do you gel with. But at the end of the day, we all know that we all have an obligation at the end of the day, which is to tell the story.
You get what I mean? But for your, maybe they want your character or something like that.
Nah, man. That's like in a normal setting. It's like whatever happens in a school or happens in a society happens at work. It's the same thing.
I have this game that I want us to play, but it's very controversial because sometimes people don't take this as a game. So I give you two people, and you have to remain with one. One must go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is it about? What people are going to choose? Are you going to choose musicians? Are you going to choose?
I'll just randomly. I just choose anyhow. And let me start. Kamo Skeem saam. It's a one must go game. Between Skeem saam, between Kwaito and Tibos, which one must go and remain with one?
What are you saying? I don't know. No. Check other people. Can you not use the ones I work with?
I'm saying because it's a game. Yeah, you know them. I'm saying this because of you know them.
You know why? It's hard for me. Maybe if you chose other people. These people share a lot of things that I know of, that I admire. That you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult.
Come on, but it's a game. Remember, I explained what it's a game. One must go. You remain with one.
Man, I remain with both of them. I don't know if it's part of the game or not.
It's not.
I remain with both of them.
Okay, it's fine. Let me move.
Yeah, well,
let me move.
I remain with both of them.
You know, I love these people, Bako. They're very talented people, Bako Limpopo now. And people are saying, why always mentioning these people? Because I love them. They are talented in their own way. There's King Monada and there's Sheba Shit.
That's King Monada, bro.
One must go.
What are you saying? King Monada,
King Monada must go.
King Monada stays, bro. What do you mean?
And ladies and gents, let me think. ANC or EFF? One must go.
I remain with EFF.
Why?
I believe in socialism. I believe in, as I told you, I'm a storyteller. I believe in society interacting with one another. I believe in us trying by all means not to have ranks, man. Who's more prettier than who has more cars than who stays where, who wears what. Those themselves are just killing us. In every person in this world, there's something that they have to offer to the world. And because of these things that I have mentioned, I'm not saying in a society where it's socialism that it won't happen.
Yeah.
But we all know what the direction we're driving. But I will say that, not that I'm seeing fault in ANC and what, but also of the fact that maybe it's a new party and they're promising different things. What can they offer?
Yeah. One must go game. You know, this one must go. That's why it's very controversial. If you can take it, Kalfatla, then Amo go and Amo. And we have Jacob Zuma and we have Ramaphosa. You remain with one.
No, but when you're asking me,
Thabo Mkhabela is in the building, ladies and gents. You're still thinking, still thinking. I did not prepare you because of you gonna prepare
Julius
schemes.
Malem.
Eh?
Julius
It's not in the game.
Julius Malem. They're the same person, the same thing. For me,
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about politics, but I do visit politics now and then. They're the same thing, because the reason I'm saying the same, I know someone will say, hey, this one is better, this one is better. They're the same thing. They're from the same organization. So, because he's the president does not mean he's the one who's wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's trying, but there's this one who's stubborn. It's the same organization.
Yeah.
Same as they say,
yeah.
We love the ANC. Our parents, my mother even today, she even still wears the ANC t-shirt. That's what she believes in. I'm not saying it's wrong, or I'm not faulting it in any way, but I wish for a world that the EFF is promising. Yeah, the world you're talking about, envision, and I'm like, what? So can it happen?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here, man. Please don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. It's Richie B and Lejoy Podcast. And on Facebook, it's Richie B and Lejoy Podcast. And on TikTok, which is the most, it's busy now. It's Richie B.
Yeah.
And Bashala Maramoga on your social media platforms.
Yeah, before that, let me just leave them with a word, I want to leave the viewers with a word. This thing that I'm going to say now, I'm not the sole experiencer of it. I'm not saying that's my life at the moment. I'm not saying that's what I have achieved.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a big MMA fan or UFC. But there was a fight that I was very invested in this week between Adesanya and Pereira.
Yeah.
And Adesanya won.
Yeah. Okay, knockout. Yeah.
Second round. Something big. So, but what he said after touched me. He spoke about people believing in themselves and their dreams and making sure that they never give up. Hurdles are going to be there. And when hurdles come, people are going to be there to say, I told you. But what he said is that even when they put a leg on your neck, you still continue. I'm saying this to everyone who wants to be in the entertainment industry. Everyone who has inboxed me and I couldn't answer you. Those you have inboxed, I answered you, but not to your satisfaction. To those who I have inboxed and they got to learn from it. To those I have inboxed and they got to find something out of it. You get what I mean? It's to everyone. To say, you don't need, like I said, when I went to Max Papo, I didn't say, hey, what? I asked him of the skill. Because when you have the skill, people are going to follow you. What matters, if you are in like Pala, for instance, she's on her, she's doing good, bro.
Samaroti.
Yes, with her pranks.
Yeah.
So if she's doing pranks and people now are following the pranks, so she's not following the people, you're doing your job, then the people will follow the job. That's what we are waging. When you are a rapper, you want to text the most famous rapper and want a feature and you want them to answer you and what. That's not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is to perfect your skill. That rapper will come to you and say, I want a feature.
Yeah, man. That's,
you get what I mean?
That's
so
powerful, yeah.
Everything you want, you can get it. Whatever the mind can conceive, believe, surely it can achieve.
No, we're not wrapping up. One more question.
Okay.
There was a time where Lauren Salawa Joko Skeem saam and Wababo, and I remember they were saying, now Thabo Mkhabela is back on your screen. The contract.
It was season 9. The last time you saw me was season 9. Season 9, that's when Leshole went to train. But training, but Leshole now is going to do that. That's when, that was season 9. So it was the end of season 9. So season 10, I became the casting director. So season 10, and the season comprises of 260 episodes. So every season, like 260 episodes. That's more like a year and what. So season 10, I was the casting director. Season 10. That's the first time I became the casting director.
Skeem saam.
Yeah, Skeem saam. We moved to season 11. I was the casting director still. Now we are about to start season 12, shooting season 12. I'm still the casting director of Skeem saam. So it's still storytelling. I'm still telling my story. As I said to you, I'm a storyteller. I am still telling my story. So it means my responsibility now, if you don't know what the casting director, because not everyone knows.
I don't know. I wanted to ask her, what do you do? What is your role there?
But Baba Ektang Baba Bicha cast.
Yeah, get cast, yeah.
Cast members.
Yeah.
So if you are a casting director, it means you deal with cast. So what I do is, every person you have seen from season 10 to today, I'm the one who casted them. So what I do is, production sends me scripts. I read the scripts. I identify the new characters. I have a meeting with the writers. We discuss this character. They give me the specs. So character is specific. I understand at this point because so every character when it comes in, it has specifics. If we say we need mfana wa 17 years wa mopedi o abolang se we can go to Sishiro and look for this person.
Come on, we are there. We are there.
Yes, and listen, I'm not done with my point. We cannot go to Sishiro and look for this person. Yeah. Not that we are saying in Sishiro there's not that person. Even the Sishiro for instance, or Tongana or Mama. We can't expect to go to Tongana and find this person with this. Maybe by 2 by 3. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that this when we say we want Mupedi bank.
Yeah.
You make sense. And after that, how they look. We don't just take it. If you are not the character. If yellow bone, if woman you are not the character. So there's a lot of things, and the more bigger the character, the more detailed it is. So now when they give me the details, then Kibula Lady Agent. So now how I work is Kibula Lady Agent, because I'm a performer, I know a lot of performers. I ask around performers. I attend a lot of theater shows, so I get to see, sometimes when I watch movies or story, you get what I mean? Yeah. So after that, then I come and bring them to auditions. So I audition them. So we prepare sides and everything, forms, they come on the day, we look at them, they perform in front of our camera, then I look at them and I choose my options. Maybe I say my top 3. The top 3, I say this is my top 3. Then I speak with my boss, say
you are working, Mr.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, these are my people. So sometimes she will choose, say, okay, Sharp, I want this one. Sometimes I may say you are number 1, and then she love number 3. Yeah. So it happens. So, sometimes, but she chooses what I choose. So sometimes it's not her who has the final say. We have to go to the SABC and pitch the person. That's when the person is too big. You get what I mean? So what happens in ISO? At the end of the day, we can pitch 5 people, but so it means we have to go back and re-audition. Yeah. So, but there are things called callbacks. So callbacks can audition the lamatom. But now okay, you can be the person we want. So when we call you for the second time, now more than what we gave you. Maybe mannerisms. We want to see with the other families connect. Can you believe if we say these people? There's a lot of things to choose from. So that's what the casting director in a nutshell is responsible for in a production.
Oh, here's how one more scarala shall one gubila and a mere.
Yeah.
There's a lot that and you're good when coming to this. I'm wrapping up. This I enjoy this. We are good when coming to facial reaction. You can switch. You can be a gangster. There's a video that I was watching. Milo Garing, like, I don't know. We're talking to 2 people, and I don't know.
Oh, it's a scene. There's a movie, a 1992 movie.
Yeah, I'm talking about that one.
A Few Good Men. So it's a scene. That scene is called "You Can Handle the Truth." It's when you are an actor,
Yeah.
One of the things that we do to sharpen the craft is to try and find monologues in movies, in plays, and whatever, and do them. So I was just doing that one. And
what did you do? I want to hear that. I want to see that.
You want me to do it now?
Yes. We wrap up with that.
Let me do this cap.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Usanjori 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, action.
You can handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. So who's gonna do it? Is it you? Is it you, Commander Lutherbeck? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and Cas de Marines because you have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And that my existence, though grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saved lives. You don't want that truth. Because deep down in places you don't speak about, in parties you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, loyalty, code. And we use these words as a backbone of a life spent demanding something, and you use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination of being questioned by a man who slips and rises under the blanket of the very freedom I provide and dare questions how I provide it. I'd rather have you say thank you and went your way. Or otherwise, I suggest you pick a weapon and you stand a post. But either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Brother,
Sure,
you
man.
can switch, man.
Yeah, man, that's my job.
You're talented. You're
I'm a
talented.
storyteller,
Joe.
you know me.
Thabo, I believe you're gonna come back for the second part
Okay.
2, because of the lot of questions that I did not ask now. I did
told
not.
you.
I have a lot of questions, but due to time,
We're
and
programmed.
I want to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here with you.
No, thank
I only
you.
see you on TV. This is my first time seeing you. I only see, but thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you, man. Sure.
Sure.
Voilà.
Welele. Cheers.